Hello and welcome to another update from the farm. Today is 20th September 2025. Time is about 5:10. It just rained like for about 15 to 20 minutes. The weather is super pleasant. The rainy season has begun in Tamil Nadu, Dharmapuri area. I think this is northwest monsoon if I'm not wrong. Pardon me if I got it wrong. But this is really the monsoon season here. And we have accomplished planting of a lot of trees. The timber layer is done. The canopy layer, which is the main crops, is done. Sub canopy is done. Shrub layer is partially done. Glycilia layer is done. Arecanut is done. Banana is pending. So I'll give you a detailed update and I'll show you how we have done these plants. But before that, a very quick update. After a long time, whatever has been pending on the painting side, we have managed to paint the gate just to avoid the rust in the rain, and we have also painted the railings at the top of the house, all the iron grills, ladder, all that is done. And we have also placed these stone poles on the side. The idea now, which just cropped up, is to plant these at about 8 to 10 feet spacing and then start cultivating dragon fruit. So that's the idea we now have. Dragon fruit is a creeper, so it won't go and touch any of these electrical lines, so it should be okay, I'm thinking. All right, so here we have managed to finish the trenching work. Whatever was pending in this section, we have finished the drip irrigation setup. The sublines are going right below this. The sublines are buried at about 1.5 feet, and these are 16 mm plain takeoff valves. These have come out, and here we will have to fix the 16 mm laterals, which have a spacing of 30 feet. Like always, we have 5 drip lines in one bed, and then we will have one in the trench. That way both the bed and trench will get Jivamrit water, and all the microbial activity will happen throughout the bed. So that's the goal. Now let me start by giving you a quick video of the 36 by 36 model that we are following. So obviously we are only doing 3 or probably 4 layers right now. So here's the canopy layer, which is coconut. So you'll see one coconut here in this bed, and the next coconut will be exactly 36 feet from there, and then the subsequent will be another 36 feet from there. So in this given bed we have coconut every 36 feet. The second bed is a sub canopy bed, where exactly in the middle of the 36 feet here we have lemon. The variety is Balaji lemon. It's a grafted variety. Coconut is Arasambatti tall, which is a local variety again. And if you see, the Balaji lemon is right in the middle of the 36 feet, which is 18 feet here. And then subsequently, the next bed, here obviously we have the farm pond, so we don't have that 36 by 36 model fully. But since we have the farm pond here, we don't have the canopy layer. But otherwise, we would have had another set of coconut trees here. So we can actually see that little inside. Let me go there. There's a lot of kambu and takapundu. There is pearl millet and dencha. In the rainy season they have come out everywhere. Unfortunately we could not cut them on time, so we just let them like that and dug the pits for planting. So here you go. So here is Balaji lemon again. This is the 18th feet line, and you will see one coconut over there right behind this pearl millet, and then one more coconut right there, and one here and one here. That means in the 4 corners we have got coconut trees, and right in the center we have got this sub canopy, which is lemon. And in between the line where you have the coconut perpendicularly and the line where you have the lemon here, ideally you will have banana here, which means, like, if you just draw a straight line between this coconut tree and the next coconut tree, right exactly in the middle where you have the perpendicular line towards the lemon, you will have banana. And we also have areca nut plants planted in the either sides of canopy trees or sub-canopy trees. So to keep it simple, every bed sort of has 3 rows. The first row is the canopy or sub-canopy row, where every 36 feet you will have the sub-canopy tree or the canopy tree. In this bed, if you have canopy, the next bed will have sub-canopy. In this case, it is Balaji lemon here and then coconut there. And then the second line will be a gliricidia line. So for every 9 feet, we have planted gliricidia to be able to give nitrogen, to get a lot of biomass, and eventually we can do, hopefully, pepper like the black pepper vines can be let here grow. And the third line will be the shrub layer. Right now you see custard apple, and between custard apple and the other custard apple you will have a papaya. I hope you are getting the configuration. Just to recap, every bed will have 3 lines. First line will have canopy trees every 36 feet. Second line will have gliricidia. Third line will have shrub, which is custard apple and papaya alternating. Right now, just next to every canopy layer or sub-canopy layer, the 2 sides, we have done areca nut. And right next to areca nut, we don't have the plantation yet, we will have a banana. So basically, this is the configuration that we have done. So we are planting, or we have planted 1 row at a time, but with all possible crops. So right now, we have tried to cover coconut trees as the main canopy layer. We have mango, we have avocado, we have jamun, we have jackfruit, and I think that's pretty much it on the canopy layer. On the sub canopy layer, we have lemon, we have amla, we have small amla, we've got 1 orange, we've got fig, we've got a bunch of things. So we have tried to make sure that we have coconut at the most places, because coconut tree is perfectly suitable for the 36 by 36 model, because it grows very tall and the canopy is very thin. Unlike mango, which tends to be a bit bushy at the top and it's dense, therefore we cannot possibly grow things like, let's say, lemon in between the 36 by 36 of a mango. It might be a little difficult and compete for sunlight, but then something like an amla or a fig will grow there perfectly well. So we've made sure that we have taken care of the distance, height, canopy while planting these trees. So that's basically it on the beds. We have tried to do this for about 3 acres and we have almost completed. So what is just pending is the banana and drumstick. So in the shrub layer, right now we have custard apple and papaya. In a few places we will have a drumstick and papaya. So we don't have drumstick right now, therefore we are waiting for that. Hopefully in the next 15 to 20 days we should get the drumstick saplings and we can plant them. And in some places we have also planted curry leaves in place of custard apple as a shrub layer. Just 5 numbers, not a lot. And then we've also planted 5 pomegranate trees, once again for experimenting only. These are expensive trees and we haven't done a lot of investment there. We're just hoping to try out these things. If they work very well, we'll probably replace them with things that don't come. This section has a bunch of timber trees, mostly things like malavembu and kumil teak and things like that. Very random set of timber trees here, but the ideal sequence that we had in mind, we have planted them at the border. So if you recollect in some of the old videos, you will notice that this section of the field has a lot of rocks, mainly the rocks that we collected from different places by blasting a few. All that has been buried at the bottom, but there's also a few huge rocks nearby and we don't know how deep the rocks are there. So we said, let's plant some really hard trees here and experiment it, right? Some of the timber trees have known to actually grow within the rocks also. So we said, okay, we will do that. So this is EL Vage. I'm so sorry, I don't know the English names for these. The Tamil name is EL Vage. Alright, so here's the sequence. What we've done is from at about 11.5 feet from the solar fencing inside, we have done different timber trees. And the sequence that we followed is like follows. We have teak, we have mahogany, we have I think acha, we have sisu, we have got neer marudu. So like that, Iyalvage is there. Like that, some 7 or 8 trees are there. We've been alternating them in the sequence that was recommended by experts, mainly to ensure that proper lighting is there. Iyalvage, for example, gives nitrogen, so we wanted to make sure that Iyalvage is kind of repeated more frequently than others. And then we also have neer marudu, which has some properties. So like that, we have tried to do some research, and we made sure that we planted a sequence. This place has a lot of weeds, so it's a little hard to see. I don't know whether you call it weeds. These are the pearl millet and the daincha that we planted for carbon nitrogen mix. This section has been cleared. They have already finished leveling. So here's what we did. We dug the pits with a JCB. We dug pits at about 9 feet exactly everywhere in 3 lines per bed. So we've had 3 imaginary lines in a bed, and then in every bed at about 9 feet distance we have dug 1 hole. We just tried to keep it simple for the JCB operator so that he could do it in my absence. So all beds sort of have a similar size at about maybe like 2.8 feet by 2.8 feet. And after that we just went ahead and sowed these plants. We have not added any neem cake or any other additional manure, mainly because there's a lot of confusion in the research that we did. Sometimes adding too much of them will be a problem. Too little could also be a problem. We need to add it in the right mix. And other things like biofertilizers and all the other artificial ingredients, nothing we have done. Basically we just planted the trees. Also discussed with a few people nearby how they have been doing, and we thought, okay, let's not do anything crazy, and we just do something very, very simple. And we've just dug the plants and we have planted them. All we have made sure is wherever there are grafted plants, we will have the graft above the ground level, otherwise they will be prone to some disease and infection. Coconuts we have planted at about 2 feet from the soil surface. Every other plant we made sure that the base of the shoot, wherever we have the pouch, the sapling, it is not deeply buried and somewhat just at the same level. Alright, so that's all that we have done here. All around the farm now we have timber trees. We have completed the canopy layer, sub-canopy layer, gliricidia layer, areca nut layer, banana layer is pending, and in the shrub layer, custard apple papaya is done. We are just waiting for drumstick to arrive, and just drumstick and banana is pending. If that is done, then pretty much this section of the farm is completely over. So you can see them, it's pretty clear now. You can see all the plantations that is done. It just looks so beautiful after the leveling. By the way, after planting, the surface of the soil was appearing all over the place, like it was just not smooth at all. So with the help of people, actually those people are standing there, we have tried to level them, and this is how things are looking after leveling. With just the help of a small chisel, they have managed to level it really brilliantly. Right? Now what we are doing is we are trying to spread kambu and takapundu again in the places wherever we don't have any of the plants. And the goal is, once these things grow, one, it will provide shade for these main plants, because these are still young saplings and it's important to give them a decent shade, just so that if there's scorching heat, they're not in trouble. And secondly, like always, kambu provides carbon, daincha provides nitrogen. We can cut them and put them back to the trench for soil mulch. And when they decompose, you will get good humus, right? That's really the goal. So there are people who are just sowing the kambu and takapundu mix. We have Nanjundan, who is the caretaker. He has already broadcasted the seeds in that bed. And with the power weeder that we got some time back, with just that mini rotavator, the tiller, we are trying to just plow the soil. They've done a good job. We found it a little difficult to maneuver around the plants, but we've just removed a couple of links from the power weeder so that the width is reduced, and we managed to plow them a little bit. So after plowing, this is how it looks. We're getting used to it, and because the soil is wet, it's plowing really well. They're still trying to get used to it, the people. The goal is people who are working in the farm, like the laborers near my farm, they should be comfortable using this, so I'm only letting them do it themselves rather than just going and confusing them. All right, so let's just take a quick walk around here. These are the beds where right now you find kambu and takapundu. Whatever you have done, we have not removed them, mainly because we won't have any trees here. So there's about 1.5 acres, maybe slightly less than that, we have kept aside for millets in one section, maybe about 40 cents, pulses another section, and vegetables another section, 40 cents each. Right, so that's really the goal. So we have not done any tree plantation here. However, towards the end near the house, we do have the dwarf variety of banana, Chaukad orange, about 6 in number, and Malayan green, about 5 in number. That we have done. And towards the end here, again, timber trees are there. But in addition to the sequence I mentioned, we also have this neem trees, about 5 in number. We have planted them here. Those are again slightly large neem trees. We bought it in a private nursery. All the timber plants we purchased from Isha Nursery. And the coconut trees I purchased from Arsambatti, which is in a place near Krishnagiri district. Arsambatti is near Pochamballi. There's a lot of nurseries there, but we purchased the coconut trees from a farm who's also cultivating nursery for coconut. Gliricidia and arecanut we purchased from the Salem district. So Gliricidia came from Salem. Gliricidia came from Namakkal in Salem district, and arecanut came from Salem. Now let's also talk about a few other things that we have done. In addition to the canopies, sub-canopies, shrub layers that we talked about, and timber layers, there's something called heritage grow that we are trying to develop. Basically 2-3 varieties, 2-3 count of 7-8 varieties of plants. So one, we have this golden shower tree, and then we've got something like that, I don't remember the name, but they are pink in color, mostly flowers. Then we've got a peepal tree, we've got a banyan tree. So I'll show you the banyan tree here. Sorry, this is peepal. This is the peepal tree. Local villagers told me that whenever you plant a peepal tree, you need to have a neem tree in the neighboring vicinity. And thankfully there's a naturally grown neem tree here, which we did not expect. All the villagers were also kind of surprised. We decided this spot for people, and we have this neem tree which is actually growing from this rock, which is really surprising. All right, and I'm just walking past all the plantation, just make sure that I'm not stamping on them. This is a lemon, what we purchased from Isha. So by the way, before we leveled this field, we tried to utilize some labor to remove all these rocks from the surface of the beds, and surprisingly there's more rocks that we collected. This is round 2. If you remember in one of the previous videos I talked about it. There's a lot of rocks, small size stones, but large in number. We wanted to remove them so that we can run our power weeder on the beds with no fear of blades getting cut. All right, so speaking about the heritage grow, so we have peepal, we have banyan, we have the golden shower tree, I think it's called Tangarali. We have got something called Sarakondrai. We have something called Konapulingai, that is Kodkapuli. And then we also have something called Mahil Maram. And a lot of these trees are, I think, shade giving trees. If you recollect in one of my previous videos, that end section of the farm, which is the southwestern side, we have dedicated it for a wild zone, right? So just to recollect the conversation, we have different zones in the farm. Zone 0 is where we have the house, which has to be absolutely clean, no plantation, nothing. Zone 1 is the plantations that are just near the farm, sorry, near the home, where we go often, like that will be vegetables and probably millets and things like that. Zone 1 will be these 5-layer models. Zone 2 will again be the 5-layer model. So like that we keep progressing all the way to the wild zone, where we don't have to go at all eventually. That will just be a place for nature to take care of itself. We will hopefully get a feeling of the forest there. All the wild animals, probably including snakes, should find that as home, so that they don't disturb the other places. At the same time, we'll have nature doing its work here. By the way, I just observed a lot of parrots, like almost 200-300 of them came to the farm last time when I visited, when we were trying to harvest the pearl millet. Obviously the pearl millet was not left to harvest fully, it was more for just cutting and putting them in these trenches. As you see, we've already done that work for mulch. Yet some of them had matured and we were cutting them. So these parrots visited to eat those pearl millet pods. It was an amazing sight to see. I have never seen so many parrots in my life all together, so it was just brilliant. I think it's just a sign that I was always looking for. Nature is trying to take care of itself. Hopefully more and more birds and these nice natural things will start coming to our farm. All right, so that's all the update I had. As far as next steps is concerned, we just want to finish off the balance drip irrigation work, which is setting up the Jivamritam tank. And then the drip network is almost 90-95% complete. We just need to finish off some repairing work where some pipes had broken when we dug pits, but otherwise we're all good to go. I also have a bit of travel plan coming up, so I may not be posting another video in the next couple of weeks, but then the real goal is to finish off the drip setup and continue leveling all these fields. So this is already done, so we'll need to do it in the rest of the fields, and then do pearl millet and dencha everywhere, and hopefully they'll grow them very soon and we can cut them and put them back to the mulch in the next 3 months. This is also the onset of the monsoon season in this place. I think we have met our milestone. Once we are done with bananas and drumsticks, we would have planted about 1,885 plants. That was really our goal before the monsoon season starts. And once this is done, then we will start thinking about plant protection schedules with neem sprays and buttermilk sprays, or of course doing Jivamrita, Panchagavya and those things, right? That we will need to do. Farm pond is almost there, but then I'm just noticing that some water continues to seep in, and I believe that is expected, mainly because it still need to dry up whatever black soil we had spread on the farm pond. It's going to take some time. I'm told that the banks of the farm on the inside will start developing grasses, and once these grasses come and when the dry season comes, they should get set. If it doesn't happen, then we will have to think of aligning either a rubber mat or something else, but that's later. So for now we're not going to touch it. And by the way, I forgot to mention, on the perimeter of the farm pond we have sowed palmyra trees. So there's about 40 palm trees that we have planted on the banks of the farm pond. This is a farm pond, as you know, and the idea is if water is stopping here at the top, let's say this is the level, at exactly about 10 feet from that point we can plant palmyra trees on the outside border. So right where this bank meets the plain land, we have planted palmyra at about 10 feet gap. So for every 10 feet we have planted palmyra. These are some watermelon trees here and there. We are just trying to sow, nothing major, not part of the 5-layer strategy, but just sown watermelon and agati here. And this is the farm pond. As you see, since the water is falling there, I think it's starting to corrode, and these are the kind of grasses I was talking about. These grasses need to fill the farm pond on the banks everywhere, and then eventually they should dry up, and hopefully things will start getting retained after that. If not, we'll have to do something about it. So team, that's all the updates that I had. Once again, thank you for your patience. This has been a long video, long update, but I'll keep you posted on the progress, next steps. All right, see you later. Bye.